This is the ALATO installation that we make available to the public just to become used to using the tool. And if any of you have used it, you may have noticed that on the storage menu we have the ability to manage our table spaces and data files and fast recovery area, of course, but there's no mention of ASM. And that's because when we created the system, we didn't actually bother to configure ASM on it. But by popular demand, I'm now going to demonstrate how to add ASM to an existing installation. First, of course, you must have already installed grid infrastructure, which I've just done, and we can see that my ASM instance is here and running. You need to make sure you have certain vital bits of information. Most importantly, you'll need to know the network details to connect to ASM, i.e. the host name, listening port, and there's my ASM instance, and of course a log on to the ASM instance with sys ASM credentials. To configure ASM, we go to the maintenance section. You need to be connected to ALATO as administration user, and we go to application configuration. There are just these few application configuration settings that need to be set up for ASM. Is ASM in use at the moment? No, it isn't, but we'll change that to yes. The ASM hostname, that will be the host on which the listener is listening. That is that address. Apply the changes. The listening port is the default port of 1521, and the name of the ASM instance is the default of plus ASM. Then logon details. My sys ASM user, I'm just going to use sys and specify the sys password. And now, if we go back to the storage menu, there we see, by magic, we've got the connection to ASM overview, ASM disk groups, and we can also see the ASM alert log. Now that we have ASM administration enabled, let's see what we can do with it. The overview, at the moment, having only just enabled it, shows us nothing more than that the ASM instance is indeed started. And you can see the parameters which the ASM instance is using. First step, create a disk group. Give the disk a name, JWDG. Choose the redundancy, I should go for external redundancy, and then we see a list of all the devices that have been discovered by the ASM disk string. I'll just use one disk group for this and create. This group is now created, and we can see the details. We can edit it if we want. Perhaps add or remove, add a disk or remove a disk, and we can see the usage that it has at the moment. Having created my disk group, the ASM overview does indeed show that we have just one disk group. Then to start using it, on the storage section, just go to the table space menu. Those are my existing table spaces, one of which actually looks quite full, but create a new table space. Give it a name, JWTS. My OMF destination is set to use the file system at the moment, so I'll need to override that and choose ASM, choose my disk group, there's only the one there, give the file a size, 10 megabytes, and if I want to enable auto extension, how much it should increment by and up to its max size, I'll disable that and click Create. And there we are, table space created. There's my table space, JWTS, and if we look at editing it, indeed it has a data file on my new disk group.